Hello everyone, my name is Allison. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I just wanted to share with you all of my must-have items for traveling to Disney World. And this video is going to be meant for those who no longer have a stroller or it's an adult-only trip, and we're going to be focusing on that. So a lot of these items are going to be used between kids and grown-ups. They're items that can be used both ways. If you are looking for a video just for kids items, make sure you subscribe because I will be coming out with a kids only essentials video, as well as a stroller video that goes into even more gear and things that you can use solely for your stroller to really make your life so much easier. So please subscribe and wait for those videos to come out because you're not going to want to miss them. So let's get into the video today. So we are going to be splitting the items into things that you are going to use in your resort room, and then items that you will be using in the parks. Some of these go in between, but it's just gonna be easier to separate the two into those categories. So let's get into. So as I was editing this video, I realized that I forgot to mention two of my absolute favorite must-haves for the parks. So I'm just gonna show them to you now before we jump into the rest of the video. So the first one up is these little magic band, little bands that go around the strap of your magic band to hold it together. Because unfortunately, the magic band straps, they can come apart very easily. I really wish that Disney had made them more like watch bands, but they didn't. So you can get these little bands that go around to make sure that these stay tightened. And especially if your kids are wearing magic bands, you're definitely going to want to have these. So I will link those down below. And also, obviously, everyone knows that they need to bring sunscreen to Disney World, but I just wanted to share my absolute favorite. This one is actually a powder sunscreen. I use it just for our faces, just because, you know, I think it works best just for your face. But it just goes right on. It's so much easier to do it with the kids than like those creams or sprays. You know, with the creams and sprays, you just feel so greasy or sticky. But with these, it just goes on so well. The kids don't mind it. Also, the bottom portion is where the powder is, and you can actually buy just like the refill case, so you don't have to get a whole new brush every time. They do make a kids version that has a higher SPF, but for some reason they don't make the refill canisters for them. So I just use this one as SPF 30. With these, you do have to reapply a little bit more often. Like we do it about like once every hour, but it is so easy to just put it in your little bag or even your pocket if you're gonna go wait in line. And while you're waiting online, just do a quick refresh of it, stick it back in your pocket, and it's so much easier to use. The other thing about this is doesn't really work well in the water. It says that it's water resistant, but we have tried it in the water, and if your face gets wet, you would have to reapply it like pretty much immediately after. So I don't recommend this if you're gonna go swimming or even at the splash areas, or if you are to reapply it immediately after you get your face wet. The other sunscreen that I want to mention is this is a scalp and hair mist. Especially if you have lighter hair, or if you have, like my son is 3, we keep his hair short. So, and he's got like blondish hair. So the sun his scalp can get burned very easily. He doesn't like to wear hats. So you just do a little spray. You know, and you can use this for anybody, and it's SPF 30, so it's just another really great little sun protection for you to have. Okay, so that's it. So let's jump into the rest of the video. Okay, so first up, you're going to want to have a park bag. This is where you're going to keep all of your gear, and the bags that you choose is really going to be dependent on what you like, maybe what time of year it is. I know myself, I don't like to have a big giant heavy backpack on while I'm sweating in the heat. So I definitely prefer to have a crossbody bag, you know, maybe a little bit smaller. In the summer months, you know, maybe you want to downsize what you have a little bit because of that. But so if that is you and you want to go a little bit smaller, you have the Loungefly, which of course is the ever popular choice among many Disney goers. This surprisingly holds a lot. Obviously, it's when you open it up, it is just a space. There's no pockets or anything like that. So you're going to want to separate your items into like little bags and pouches. Like for instance, this little bag that I have is what I put like first aid, things like that in here. You know, I have like blister band-aids, moleskin. I also have like a pill box to have that has like Advil, Tums, maybe motion sickness medicine. And that's really something that you're going to want to bring, because if you haven't been to Disney before or you don't go often, sometimes you might get, you know, like if you don't go on rides often, you might not think you get motion sickness, but you might on some of these rides, or even, you know, you're not used to eating this type of food all the time. If you're here for a week and that's all you're eating, you might get some tummy upset that you're not used to having. So it's a really good idea to have, just in case, some of those items in your medicine, in your little medicine pouch. This is a really good option. So that goes in here, as well as I always have Liquid IV with me, especially in the summer months. It's an electrolyte drink. It's a really good idea to have at least one a day, especially if you're in the heat and you're sweating. It's just a really good idea to have. It goes right into your water. You just shake it up and drink it. So other things that you can have in here are Band-Aids, you know, anything that you might want to have in a medicine bag. So if the Loungefly isn't for you and you don't like having a backpack, another great option are those crossbody bags. The one that I have is a foldy, and I absolutely love it because it actually folds into itself, the straps and everything, which makes it perfect for traveling, but it is on the smaller side. I do use this every time because I keep valuable items in here. You know, my cell phone, wallet, you know, things like that are always in here. But if this was my only bag, I definitely would have a larger one. So if you are going to use any of these two options, you might want to think about having some type of accessories to kind of hang from it if you can't fit everything in, because I mean, let's be honest, you need a water bottle. You need to have a water bottle with you. It should be stainless steel because you want your water to be nice and cold. You don't want the condensation on the outside of your bottle. You want your, you know, that's what you want. So what I do is I have a little carabiner on my bag and I clip it right to my bag. So when I have this on, you know, it does hang and it makes it a little bit more heavy, but personally, I would rather have that and be hands-free than to have to worry about carrying my water bottle around. That would just drive me nuts if I had to do that. So that is definitely an option, and you obviously bring a bunch of these carabiners with you. You know, they can clip onto either bag, and you can really hang anything you want from there. I also have like a little hand sanitizer that bungees right onto this. So that is always good to have. So other items that you can have to kind of clip onto your bag are I like to use this package. You can put wet wipes in here, and you might think, well, wait a minute, this video is not supposed to be meant for like babies, or, you know, I don't have a kid that has diapers. Why do I need wipes? I mean, anybody can use wipes. You don't know if you're gonna get messy, if something's gonna get sticky all over your hands, melting Dole Whip or whatever it is. This makes it so much easier to clean up than trying to use like dry paper towels that are just gonna stick everywhere. So this is a really good idea. You don't have to put a lot in there, you know, to make it nice and light and thin. And again, this one has a hanging strap. I personally hang it onto my stroller because it just makes it easy access to grab those wipes, but you could always hang it onto your bag. And I'm going to be that person when I'm done with my stroller. I'm gonna have like all these things hanging from my bag, but you know what? It makes your life so much easier. Now this can easily fit into a Loungefly, no problem. But again, if you have like a crossbody that's a little bit smaller, you could easily hang it from there. And another thing that hangs is this little guy here. This is another item that's technically for diapering your baby, but like I said, a lot of these items can go back and forth between grown-ups and, you know, older kids or whoever. But I use these just as garbage bags, because even though Disney does such a great job about having garbage cans all around and very close to each other, you might be walking around and have just like a napkin or a tissue, and instead of just like stuffing it in your pocket, you can grab one of these bags, put your stuff in there, and then the next time that you see a garbage can, just throw the whole thing in there, and that way you're not holding yucky napkins or anything like that. And again, this clips right on. So as you can see, these types of items, like, I am not a minimalist. I like to be overly prepared for things. I like to have things that are convenient for me. So that is what I like to do. So if a lot of this stuff is a little bit too much for you, you don't have to get it, you know, but I like to share my ideas because there might be someone out there that says, oh, what a great idea. I'm going to try that next time, and hopefully it works for you. So obviously, if you're the type of person that doesn't want to have these smaller bags, you're going to want to have a bigger backpack style bag. And what's great about these bags is that you can use these bags. They're kind of multi-purpose, wherein you can use this as like your personal item on the plane, and then you don't have to worry about packing another bag with you. This just has all the stuff that you need for the plane, and then you can use it while you're at the park. And the great thing about a bag like this is all the pockets are just so plentiful. So if this is what you're using in the park, you can easily organize your stuff without having to use any extra pouches or bags or anything like that. So even your first aid stuff, you can put all in the front pouch. They have, there's just bags for everything. There's even like a wet bag area that you could put like wet clothes or anything like that in there. For the plane, it has this nice little padded area for a laptop or iPads. And then you could easily put like an extra pair of clothing back here, or you know, you could easily fold up something and stick it back here. And it's very plentiful. And you know, if you pack it full, it is going to be heavy, but it has nice padded straps, and it actually has a mesh backing, which does give it a little bit of airflow. And it also has a trolley strap as well. So when you are going through the airport, you can easily put it right on top of your luggage to make it very easy to go through the airport with. I'm going to link this down below. I'm going to link everything that I possibly can. I'm going to link that down below. But this is a great one to have. Like I said, so many pockets, so much organization for you to use. Okay, so moving on to weather related things. So if you're going during really any time of the year, you're probably going to want to have some kind of fan with you. So even in the winter, it can get warm during the day and you're walking around a lot, you're standing in line in the sun, you might want to have a fan. And there are different types of fan options. We have the neck fan. you know, which you just walk around and it turns on and it blows air right into your face. So these work out great. And the thing about these are they are kind of bulky to have, just kind of like, you know, to try to stick it in your bag. So if you don't have the larger backpack and you have one of the smaller items, an option that you could do is to, you know, use one of the carabiners and hook it on to your bag. Just make sure that the carabiner is small enough that it's not going to like slide off of this part. So just as long as it can clip here and it's not gonna fall off, that's a really great idea to hold onto your fan when you aren't using it. Another option with the fans are these little guys, and this is my absolute favorite. I got these for my kids. I have an 8-year-old and a 3-year-old, and I got these specifically for them, but I found that these are so powerful for their size. I mean, look how thin it is. It is so lightweight. This could so easily fit right into your crossbody, and honestly, even if you do have a stroller, you could still put this in your crossbody to use while you're like waiting in line, or, you know, if you don't have your stroller with you at the moment, it could so easily fit right in there. And even if you didn't want to keep it in your bag, if you wanted to have it be a little bit more accessible, you could actually use one of these bungees. Now this is something that I use for my stroller. I hook it onto my stroller and then I have, you know, my child's toy so it can't fall. But this is actually a great idea to put onto your bag, right? You can hook it onto your strap, and then you can hook the fan to the other side, because these fans have a cute little hook on the back of it, right here. So you can hook that on, and you can hook that onto your bag. So when you have your bag on, right, it is hanging down, you know, it's hanging down. So you might even want to hang it, you know, maybe up on top so it's not swinging around as much, but it's such an easier way to grab it and just fan yourself whenever you need it and not have to worry about digging through your bag to try to find it when you need it. You know, it's right there. So that is definitely an option for that. And I actually use that bungee hooked onto the fan on my stroller for the child in my stroller. My son, he likes to use that one. We do have stroller fans as well, but he actually prefers to use that one. He likes to be able to fan himself with it. So that is also a great idea, to have it hooked onto your bag. You also have the option of cooling towels. I know a lot of people use these, but my family didn't really like them too much. We felt that it was more kind of a nuisance to be able to get cold water, because it really only works if you have like cold water. So you would have to like go into the bathroom and like make sure the water is cold enough, put it under the sink, and like it was just too much of a hassle for us. It did feel nice, you know, like on your skin to kind of cool you down. But honestly, I think next time we're going to try a misting fan to kind of get the same effect of like the cool wetness, because that does tend to like make you feel a little bit cooler, having like the spray of water mixed with the fan. I think that would work a little bit better than the cooling towels. We just, you know, and then you also have to worry about where you're going to put this wet towel when you're not using it. I mean, that is one thing that I recommend bringing, is a wet bag. There's this one right here, you know, where you could store your towels in the wet bag. But it's just, you know, to me, it just wasn't worth the hassle of wetting it, making sure it was cold. So we preferred the fans. I mean, you might be a cooling towel type of family. Maybe you want to give it a try. They're not too expensive, you know, to give it a try. So, but that's how we felt about it. And while we're talking about the wet bag, I do highly suggest bringing a type of wet bag. Now, my wet bags are big because, again, I have 2 kids, so I'm you know, packing for 2 kids, but they do make ones that are much smaller. And I like that the ones that have the strap, again, another thing that you can hook onto your bag if you want. But the ones that have like a dry area plus a wet area, I always highly recommend that everyone in your party bring at least an extra pair of socks to the park with you. If you're not going to bring a full extra pair of clothes, at least bring socks. You never know when it's going to start downpouring or you're going to step in a puddle, and nobody wants to walk around with soggy, wet socks. So you can keep your dry socks in this dry area and then put the wet ones right in here. Anything that you have that gets a little bit wet can go in this wet bag. And along with having your fans and your cooling towels for the warmer months, you also need to think about what you need to bring when it's cold. You might want to bring with you a pair of gloves and a hat, because when you're going in the winter months, as soon as that sun goes down, it's going to get really cold, or if it rains, it's going to feel cold. So you might want to bring, maybe even some hand warmers, or, gloves with a hat, and, maybe like a scarf or something just to keep you warm. I don't think that you need to bring like a winter coat. I mean, sometimes it gets very cold in Disney, but I can't imagine having to pack a winter coat. I mean, unless you're wearing it in the airport, that would be quite a large thing to have to pack in your suitcase. So I think if you have a hat and gloves, maybe some warmers, a scarf, it should be enough with like a sweatshirt or a cardigan or something over to keep you extra warm. So now we're going to move into some rain gear. You're definitely going to want to bring some type of rain gear. If you're traveling in the winter months when it's not predicted to rain every day, you might want to just have it in your budget that maybe you're going to need to buy a poncho in the gift shops if it does start raining. But it's my suggestion to just bring a poncho. They are so much less expensive at wherever you get them outside of Disney. Even if they're throwaway dollar store ones, you have it there. If you are the type of person that would rather wear a raincoat as opposed to a poncho, there are a couple of other things that you can bring to help it a little bit. You could bring an umbrella, and what I really love about this type of umbrella is that not only does it protect you from the rain, but it also is UPF 50. So you can also use it as a sunshade. And we use this a lot in like Disney Springs, where there really isn't a lot of shaded rest areas. So like we got stuck waiting for our dinner reservation, and it was so hot and the sun was just blaring on us. So we had this out and we were all huddled underneath it just to stay out of the sun just for a little bit. So this is another small item that can easily fit in a crossbody bag or, your small backpack. It does have a hanger thing that, if you want to connect it to a carabiner or something like that, you could do that. But even if you do have a stroller, you can easily put this into a crossbody bag that you have with you when you go on the rides, just in case you're standing in line and it gets really sunny and hot. You can easily shade yourself with that. So if you do have your raincoat on, a lot of raincoats just aren't long enough to cover like the bottom half of your body. If you're going to like sit down or sit on a ride, I have these little, it's actually a waterproof blanket, and it is a very decent size, and it comes in its own little pouch, and it just opens up. You see, like, look how big this is. So even if you wanted to use this, like when you're sitting down on the sidewalk waiting for the parade and you don't want to get dirty, or like I said, it just rained and you want to put this down on a bench, or even down on one of the rides that are outside and that are still a little bit wet from the rain, just don't forget to pick it back up and you can easily put it back into its pouch or stick it in a wet bag if it gets really wet. But this is a really great item to have, especially if you don't have a poncho that goes down to like your knees and you don't have to worry about sitting. So next up, we're going to talk a little bit about food items that you might want to bring with you. Personally, I like to bring reusable silverware. Now, this is an item that will set off the security alarm when you're going through security. So it's one of those things, along with the umbrella, that you're going to want to hold out in front of you when you walk through security. Now, you still might get flagged, but personally, I think it's worth it because I don't know about you, but whenever I try to have like an actual dish of food that's not in a restaurant, you know, whether it's quick service, the festival booths at Epcot, having like a real fork and knife to be able to like cut my food, it's to me, it's a lifesaver. And, you know, I put my kids' ones in here as well. If you wanted to, you could also put a reusable straw in here. Personally, I don't like reusable straws. I didn't have a problem at all with the straws in Disney World. You know, whether I was having like an iced coffee or something like that. I think, you know, I didn't let it sit long enough to like have the straw disintegrate or anything like that. I didn't have a problem with it. I did bring a reusable straw with me and I used it like the first time I had a coffee. And to me, it just wasn't worth the hassle because then I had this like wet straw that I needed to like put back away and remember to wash it when I got back to the resort. You know, I had to have a straw cleaner, you know, like an extra thing. And, you know, I just didn't find that it was necessary. If you did want to bring a reusable straw, they do have silicone kinds and they also have a metal straw. If you're bringing a metal straw, put it with your other metal stuff, or if you aren't bringing something like this, maybe you should think about using a silicone one so you don't have to worry about it setting off the alarms. But so that's, you know, I don't like them, but if you want to try them or if you really like them, you should go ahead and bring them. So next on the food kind of items are these collapsible bowls. I really, really liked having these because if you're the type of person that isn't going to eat a lot, or if you want to share your food with someone, it just makes it easier to put stuff in a bowl and be able to eat it on your own. Or if you're sharing something with your kids, you know, if you want them to have some Dole Whip, you know, you can easily spoon it into here, have them eat from here, and then when they're done, you can close it back up and save it for later, or you're done and you can completely collapse it again. And again, it's a very thin item to have in your bag, and the lid makes it leak proof. So even if you have like a little bit of like Dole Whip residue or something like that, it's not going to leak out into your bag. But to be on the safe side, you might want to just throw it into your wet bag just in case. So obviously, talking about these reusable items, you're going to have to clean them when you get back to your resort. What I did was I brought a little sponge with me, and it's actually the top portion of like a bottle cleaner, because that way I could clean out my water bottles. Because I also like to, I also have a green drink that I make in the morning in one of my other reusable bottles. So that was easier to clean that out. And as well as the bowls and the silverware. I did buy a small thing of dishwashing soap from the gift shop, from our resort gift shop. I really didn't want to have to get a giant thing of dishwashing soap with our grocery delivery. So it was fine, you know, to just have that. And that worked out really well. Just, you know, do a quick little wash when you get back and let it out to dry on a towel, and it's ready for the next day. And the last thing that I'm going to talk about in the parks area is this little pouch that has charging equipment in it. Now, I bring with me, everyone should have with you a portable charger for your phone, for your fans, for anything that you would need to charge up. It's really, really a good idea to have a portable charger. Now, they do have the fuel rods within the parks, but I highly suggest getting one of these so you don't have to worry about finding one of those machines, you know, trading it off and all of that. And what's really, really great about these is that it comes with the wires attached, so you really don't need to have any extra wires. And I don't bring this to the park with me because I have this. So this comes out and you plug it into the wall to charge the charger itself when you're at the resort. And then, this here tells you how much charge you have. It does have extra ports if you need to charge 2 things at once. So if you do feel like you need to bring more chargers with you, then you could bring one of the bags. But if you're only going to need this, you really don't need to bring that extra pouch with you, just as long as it has, something to protect it. And again, this is another item that very easily could set off the security alarm. So you're going to have this, your umbrella, your reusable silverware with you, and you're going to hold it out in front of you as you walk through the security. Okay, so now we're going to talk about other items that you might want to have in your resort room with you. The first thing is a little bin like this. It folds up super small. You can just lay it right on the bottom. And when you open it, you just push the bottom down. Now, these work out great for just organizing. If you're the type of person that can't stand having things just like scattered around the room, it works great for kids' toys, just to keep them somewhere so that they're not all over the place. It could work great for, if you're getting a grocery delivery or if you have snacks and stuff that you want to keep in the room, you can keep them in there on top of the counter, or anything that you want to keep in one spot. You might want to bring 2 of them, depending on what else you have, but it's a really great idea. And since it folds up so small, it's so easy to just fit, on the bottom of your suitcase. And with the same idea is a travel hamper. I don't have mine right now. I think it's like tucked away in storage and I couldn't find it at the moment. But again, it's another one that just folds up so like paper thin. It just folds up. I'm gonna link it at the bottom so you can see it. And it just lays right flat in your suitcase, or you can get the kind that like twist up and like bounce out. But having a clothes hamper is really a lifesaver especially if you have like 4 people in your room and you've got dirty clothes all over the place. To be able to contain them in the hamper is really a lifesaver. And especially if you're planning on doing laundry while you're there, you're going to want to have something to bring your clothes back and forth. So that item will really work well for you in the room to keep things organized. So we were talking before about all these fans and items that you need to charge up, and you're going to want to charge these up while you're sleeping overnight. Now, the best way to do this is to get a USB charger port that has, this one has like 10 different USB chargers, and you're going to want to plug this in an area in one central location. And you're gonna plug everything into it. All your neck fans, all your other fans, all your magic bands, things like that. They're gonna be located in one area on a counter or at your bedside table, wherever it is. So when you wake up in the morning and you're ready to go to the park, you know where everything is. You don't have something that you forget because it's plugged in on the other side of the room. This makes sure that everything stays in one spot. So this is a lifesaver. Another item that is good to have is a sound machine. If you don't sleep with a sound machine at home, you might want to think about getting one for traveling. Not even just to Disney World, but anytime that you're traveling in like a hotel or anything like that, it really works wonders for allowing you to have such a nice, peaceful sleep. Because sometimes, let's face it, some people are loud. There's babies crying. The people at the pool are loud, or whatever it is. This allows just some white noise to help you sleep. And another thing that could help you sleep is a humidifier. That's what this is. You do not need to get this specific humidifier, but they do make smaller travel humidifiers that are much small, but this one it takes a regular water bottle, like a regular drinking water bottle. You just put it on here and it uses that water as for the humidifier. Obviously my kids love this one, but if you don't want to use this, they have just regular plain small little humidifiers. And I mean, we use a humidifier at home every night. So in order to make it nice and cozy for you to sleep with, you kind of want to make it as normal as possible to get you to sleep better. So if you always sleep with a humidifier, it's a really good idea to just get a travel one to bring with you. So some other things to help make you get that cozy at-home feeling is to bring with you at least just one pair of nice cozy clothes, sweatpants or jogger pants, you know, a sweatshirt, socks, cozy socks, slippers. You know, the floor can feel hard and cold, especially in the summertime when the AC is pumping, and you know, you want to just kind of be cozy. You might want to bring a pair of slippers to walk around the room. And also, you know, if your feet are aching from the day, having a nice pair of cozy socks or slippers are going to make your feet feel a lot better. So those are just some things to just help you be a little bit less stressed when you are in your resort room. Okay, so that does it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and keep an eye out for my other essential videos and all other videos that are geared towards Disney World packing and all of those things that you can imagine. So please like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. Until next time.